Alright, boys and girls, here we go. We got our 2000 chassis that we're rebuilding into. God knows what we're going to rebuild it into yet. We know what the chassis is going to be as a Uniden Grant. But those of you who've been watching the videos know. This is the chassis that you saw in the last video. All deoxidized, repainted with paint that has a metal base to it that will allow all these seams. Okay, a lot of you guys don't realize when it comes to base stations and these things start getting aged and start corroding in between those seams, and here too. I mean, this is where your main board in the original radio would mount to the chassis. These screws over time get loose, cause static in your receive. And a lot of guys don't believe it, but you know what? I've proven it time after time, especially on a 50-year-old radio. When the corrosion and stuff starts building up along these seams, that's a bad thing. It creates noise in your receive. It creates noise in your transmit. You're also going to notice that the face is beautifully cleaned off now. I mean, you see it in the last video, it was all tore up. Now, we are going to make some more modifications to this. This guy's going away. Bam. That guy's going away. Bam. This is going to be the only one left because it's going to be the mic gain, or the mic plug. All these are going to be gone. The only thing you're going to see on here when we're done, we're making new plates for the front of this. A new detailed plate. You're not going to see any of this. All this is going to be gone. All this is going to look like one, like the Cobra tin, only where the chrome bezels stuck out before, they will now. Only you're not going to see the buttons and all the typical Cobra 2000 stylings. This is how you start to build a radio, boys and girls. So this is it. This is where we begin. Now, at that point, we're done with this part of the unit. This is going to go in the cabinet, and it's going to sit for a little while until we get the donor. Here's our donor. Nice old President Grant. They just had some bad luck cosmetically, but it's a good chassis. So, you know, we had I mean, if you saw the first video, you saw what the 2000 was. And like I said, we're not rebuilding this radio as a Cobra 2000. This is just going to be, I don't know what we're going to call it yet. Right now we're calling it the 409 old school because it's really going to be an old school base station when we're done. Like I said in the last video, it will have only a 5-digit counter. And that's because the only counter we could find that I can absolutely say is not going to disrupt the attitude of this chassis because of its age and the way it's built is a 5-digit counter that reads only on transmit. However, you'll still be able to know where your extra channels are, which is all you really want. And the clarifier, as long as you dial it to 5, you're all right. When you go to sideband, you sideband guys know 5 digits is enough. That's what your clarifier is for. So that's the way we're going to build this radio. And that's it, boys and girls. That is a clean, refurbished Cobra 2000 chassis that is going to be a 409 Radios custom monster. Keep watching. It's getting interesting.